Good day, class. This is Mark, and we will have an important lesson that we will discuss. And can you guess what it is?
As you can see, the Kemp model consists of 9 phases in the inner circle, with aspects of implementation and evaluation mostly in the outer circle. This circular model was created to reflect the interdependent nature of each of these components. By doing away with the linear structure of traditional models, instructional designers are able to approach the process with fluidity, beginning it at any stage and addressing others as they see fit. Multiple stages may be addressed at once, and some may not need to be addressed at all. The process should truly be cyclical, allowing for continuous improvement in the design. In the following pages, we'll look more closely at the individual phases and processes involved with each step of the ADDIE model.
What do you think our topic for today? A. AD model. B. Kemp model. You're correct, Kemp model. And that's what our topic for today. So, what is Kemp model? So, the Kemp model, sometimes referred to as the Morrison, Ross, and Kemp model, has the 4 elements of design that are an integral part course development: students, objectives, methods, and evaluations. The emphasis of this model is the interdependencies of each of the steps in the process, with the belief that instructional design is a continuous cycle with revision, being an ongoing process to improve and adjust as needed. It is also unique in its non-linear structure and the interrelated nature of those main components, allowing for flexibility as the instructional design moves through the 9 stages of this design. These stages can be addressed simultaneously, individually, or in some cases, not at all. The Kemp model encourages the designers to take the perspective of the learner so that their needs, priorities, and constraints are taken into consideration as the objectives, course material, and assessments are created and implemented. So we will proceed to the 9 design elements for Kemp model. The first element is specific goals and instructional problems. What problems are you trying to solve? What are the goals for the program? Examples: gap between learners in racial student groups, students not learning a skill, reduce errors in corporate setting. Second element, learner characteristics. Who are you teaching? How do the characteristics of your students impact the planning process? What needs to be learned? And how to learn it? Example, students' background, prior knowledge, ages, and etc. Third element, clarify course content, task analysis. What needs to be learned? Is this a content issue or a task skill issue? Is there additional knowledge needed to perform a certain skill, especially if your learners do not have a background knowledge? Fourth element, define instructional objectives. What must the learner master to be proficient? This is your map for designing instruction. What are you targeting your teaching towards? By the end of the lesson, students will be able to do. Fifth element, content sequencing. What is the most effective order for learning? Example, do you need background first? Do you do the book learning theory, then the hands-on practice? Do you teach thematically or chronologically? Sixth element, plan instructional message. The words and image used to teach the material. How do you translate the plan into a lesson? The words, elements, graphics, etc. How do you make the material understandable? The seventh element, Design instructional strategies. Recall, remember the information, integration, transform into student language, relate, paraphrase. Organizational, transform into a new form. Elaboration, adding new info, mental images, physical diagrams, relate to other topics. The eighth element, develop assessments. Formative assessment, determine effectiveness. Summative, the end of the process. Students prove they meet the objectives. Conformative, are they using the skills they learn? The ninth element, choose appropriate instructional resources. Put everything together and create your instructional materials. Lecture, text, guide, diagrams, web, pages, audio, etc. How do you take what want to learn, the strategy, and create a lesson to meet the objective? So these are the benefits of using Kemp design model. Learner focus, allows creativity, very flexible, allows to focus on a specific starting piece of data. Circular model, always revising each section as you use it. Great for bigger groups, able to start all the process at the same time. So if you learned something in this video, please write on your paper. Thanks!